Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the Fourth Estate. Before you is the legal team of our client, Willis Raburu, who gave us firm instructions to move to court with utmost urgency in a bid for him to enforce his rights, which have been grossly violated by the EABL owing to a contract that they entered into where our client, through his company, enforced the contract, performed to its obligations, and delivered what was required. However, since 7th December 2024, our client has not been paid. There has been no communication, and it appears that the people we have sued are trying to evade liability on the basis that the contract was never signed on their part. However, what the law provides is there was the offer, there was the acceptance, and there was the performance. And consequently, consideration must then be met. Consideration in terms of money. To date, our client is being harassed by suppliers and by fellow artists who are of the opinion that he might have been paid and have refused to remit the finances. This has caused him not only financial loss, but also his reputation of his brand is at the mercy of EABL, owing to the fact that they have a stronger financial muscle over artists. We have seen this emerging issue in our country, whereas in this day and age, there are artists who can live and work for gain as artists. But sometimes they are forced to enter into contracts by big brands who have bigger financial muscle and refuse to honor their part and refuse to pay artists, which subjects the artist industry to a lot of anguish, a lot of desperation, and financial loss. As recent as last week, we saw through, there was a report that was established that in Kenya, in this year, most Kenyans are listening to Kenyan music. Therefore, we cannot say that the artists are the lowest in the food chain, but they are being taken advantage of by big corporations who are trying to evade liability on basis of small technicalities, and therefore we have moved to the High Court with utmost speed and urgency, asking that the High Court to enforce and protect the rights that have been grossly violated of our client. He remains to be a person of reputable brand, and this does not affect his brand in any way because he moved to court as a matter of right, as is provided for under the Constitution, where anyone can move to court to exercise and enforce a right that is likely to be violated or a right that has been violated. We are hoping that with utmost urgency, the court will certify our matter urgent and place it for directions before the incoming court vacation, and that our client and all his suppliers and all his contacts will be able to enjoy the fruits of their labor that they were waiting for since last year, December 7th, 2024. It's over a year. There has been no communication and no settlement thereof, and as such, we are asking these big corporations that are seeking for artists who help and sustain the ecosystem that is concerning their business to respect the right of artists, to pay the artists, and to hold them in the regard, because without them, they would not be as successful as they are. They are the direct consumers, and they bring the direct consumers straight where the corporations cannot reach, the artists reach. And therefore, this is a gross violation, and we are calling upon them to act right and respect each and everyone's rights. No one is above the law, irrespective of your financial muscle, irrespective of the brand that you have. That is all.
Well, this country previously developed academic talents, and everybody was looking for a formal job to be employed. Later, the world turned into talent. Kenya embraced the question of talent. and talent is now the line every country is moving to. One, Willis Raburu developed his talent. He honed his skills in major media houses. He has created a name and a brand that rivals serious brands in Eastern Central Africa. One, Willis Raburu, out of that brand, East African breweries hired him, not because it was an accident, but because of his past performance. The task was so hard for East African breweries to manage without hiring and going back to look for those who have been tested and proved that they can deliver. This was a question about how do we get students from universities. Students of universities are not an easy type of group to bring them to consume brands manufactured by EABL. Willis Raburu was given to make a show called Caravan what? Wabebe Campus Club. Wabebwe. Wale Campus Club. He went ahead, subcontracted artists from Kenya and from the region for Furaha City. KBM was satisfied that their arrangement was fit. They approved and went ahead and sent him a contract which he signed mischievously, and I repeat, mischievously. The part of Kenya Brewery was not signed. But this one is not the first time Willis Raburu has presented and acted and held shows on behalf of EABL. They have never signed. It is only the Willis and the team that are going to perform that sign. When the contract goes back, EABL supplies the beer, supplies the alcohol, supplies the merchandise, supplies their people. They come and pay later. Willis and team performed 4 shows that were paid, others have not been paid. To date, Willis Raburu is being turned into somebody hiding from creditors. We have put EABL on notice. This is December, this is Christmas, this is Happy New Year festivities, when EABL is going to take on their stable quite a number of artists. And this is a warning, and this is why Willis Raburu has taken an unprecedented commercial transaction issue to the public, to the Kenyans and to everybody. Very many artists in this country who have been contracted have not been paid. Very many artists who have performed have been underpaid. Very many artists who have been contracted have run into depression, they have run into stress, they have run into serious family disputes. Those married, their wives must have disappeared. Those intending to marry, they cannot pay dowry because EABL has refused to pay them. This is a serious issue that, other than being an artist, Willis and team are family members. Willis and team are employers. Willis and team are paying taxes to the Republic of Kenya. Already KRA, because a fee note was sent, KRA has already taken their money away from what they have been paid. So we have rushed to court under serious certificate of urgency, and we expect that the judge will give very serious directions to save the youth of this country. It started with fleecing of athletes. When athletes from Eldoret and the other Uasin Gishu regions were getting a raw deal, it went to other sectors of sports, football and the other sectors. Now it is in the sector for entertainment. It is our duty as a country, and we shall be petitioning other relevant agencies of government other than the court system to intervene so that policy guidelines are developed and strict legal regimes are put in place to protect those people who are innovative, those young people who have built this country to where we are. When we talk of Wabebi, it transcends boundaries of Kenya. It is a brand name. It is a selling point for Kenyans. It is a tourist attraction. It is what is branding this country worldwide. It is what is removing our youth from crime. It is what is giving our youth the future that they can grow, be better than Willis. So EABL and the agent that they purport to work with, we have taken them to court, and we expect that they will be writing to me to say, let us settle this matter today before we proceed very seriously against EABL. We give notice, and we shall, as I said, we'll give notice to those regulators, and we shall be challenging the license of EABL if that license granted by the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya and by the laws of the Republic of Kenya and by the citizens of the Republic of Kenya, so that we protect those who are weak against multi-billionaire companies. Remember, EABL is a multinational conglomerate. It is not a Kenyan company. It is only the franchise trading here by that name. We will be moved into those where their headquarters is best, and Willis is determined to set pace and to liberate very many actors, very many youths, very many enterprising people from slavery. The Constitution does not allow people to work and they are not paid. Once they have worked, they must be paid. That is what Swiga said. There must be consideration. Thank you very much. Let Willis say one word or two.
For gathering here, mine will be very brief, really, because it has been over a year. We have engaged professionally, tried to follow the proper channels, tried to follow the proper methods, tried to keep this out of the public. But now we've decided to move to court because, and to also talk to the public, because people must begin to respect the creatives of this country. This is the big corporations, the small, the SMEs, everybody must begin to respect the creatives of this country. So this move is one taken with the acceptance that the industry we work in, including the media, is also heavily funded through sponsorships by EABL. However, that does not mean that because of that we cower away in fear, because injustice is injustice. And therefore, I just ask all other creatives as well to take note of such bold steps that we are taking, and to also encourage themselves that if you're also out there and you're going through the same thing, to take the necessary steps. The court exists to protect and therefore take the necessary steps as well, so that we form a country where respect for creatives remains paramount. It cannot be that there are policy issues only when it is time to pay a creative. Vendors should not suffer when it is now time to pay a creative, especially when there are systematic failures. So I will confine my comments to that, but to say once again and to reiterate that this move is for the creatives of this country, and that I hope that, as I have done before, I will continue to stand and fight for creatives to the very end. Thank you.
Thank you.